up, everybody? Nate here. And AI is more than just the hot new flashy thing on Wall Street and in the business and financial world. It is literally taking over everything. Companies have already invested billions of dollars into AI tech with hundreds of billions of dollars on the way. Not to mention, if you are an AI startup right now, you are pretty much the only tech company that is doing well. All of those investing dollars and interest have created a ton of advancements in the AI community, but there is also a dark side to AI. Many experts are sounding the alarm on AI, saying that it is going to completely eliminate tens of millions of jobs in the United States. And the big fear is AI is going to replace a lot of our workforce, and then nobody is going to have any money. Well, I hate to break it to you, but AI is not going to be the economy and jobs killer that a ton of experts are predicting. Here's why. So the first thing I want to kind of go over here is why exactly businesses and companies are moving towards AI in the first place, because this is a conversation that it seems like our society has been having over and over again as technology has moved forward. From the cotton gin all the way to the internet, we have had advancement after advancement in our society. These advancements have made it a lot easier for businesses to produce things, and they've also made it a lot safer for our entire workforce. During the Industrial Revolution in the mid-1800s in the United States, we had a ton of new innovations that made it a lot safer for factory workers to go into work every day. What that did was cause longer lifespans, but it also did eliminate a lot of jobs because now a machine was going to be doing that work. You can pretty much see this trend all throughout American history, pretty much all throughout world history. As we've had machines, as we've had new technological advancements, well, that means that businesses and companies no longer need a particular job. Now, when it comes to AI, there is a big worry that AI is going to go even beyond that because it is so technologically advanced. Generative AI platforms like ChatGPT literally have the ability to write essays for you. You can literally ask it to write you an essay on The Great Gatsby, and it will tell you everything that happened in the book. And you can give it parameters like word count and certain topics that you wanted to discuss. ChatGPT can analyze data for you. It can give you suggestions for thumbnails here on YouTube. That can help a lot of businesses get a lot more done very quickly, and a lot of businesses are taking advantage of AI right now. And the reason AI has sort of exploded just over the last year or so is simply because of our economy. The economy in the United States for businesses has been a very rocky terrain for many companies to navigate. We have really high interest rates, so it's harder for businesses to get investor liquidity, and it's also harder for them to take on debt, let alone pay off the debt that they've already taken out. On the other side of that, we have consumers facing things like inflation and massive payments starting to return that were completely paused during the pandemic, like mandatory mortgage payments and rent payments, and also student loan payments. Bottom line here is that businesses are not getting as much money as they were before from the consumer and from the investor. So in order to stay afloat, they're starting to cut back. But the big issue is even though businesses are starting to cut back, well, people all throughout the United States, they still need things, right? There is still demand, and we still have just as many people as we did before. So that means that businesses still have to produce things. They just have to do more with a lot less right now. AI sort of paves the way for all of that, especially entrepreneurs who are looking to break into a lot of different markets very easily. AI can basically act as an entrepreneur's assistant, and AI can basically help out a startup that's looking to do a lot more with less in 2023. So there has been so much investment into that because businesses want to move forward. But now, even though AI is this super innovative technology that has the ability to change people's lives from the consumer side and the business side, there is a lot of fear that it's also going to cause a lot of economic pain because people are not going to be needed to work jobs anymore. Case in point, a lot of experts are saying that AI is going to take over our workforce completely, and businesses, especially struggling ones, are going to want to keep costs extremely low. And if AI can do a job completely, then that means cost savings for them because now they don't have to pay somebody and they get the exact same output. And this is really an interesting concept that I want to kind of dive into a little bit more because it's something that has been pseudo going on for a very long time. Businesses have been outsourcing work for the last 20 or 30 years, like a lot of their customer service roles, over into countries like China and India. And the reason for that is because businesses can save a lot more money outsourcing outsourcing those positions because the US dollar gets stretched a whole lot further in countries like China and India, so you can pay them less hourly. This aspect of outsourcing jobs has been going on for a very long time, but it really gained in popularity in 2008 during the Great Recession. Once again, during that time, businesses were going through a really tough time financially because Americans and investors were also going through a really tough time. They were doing everything that they could to sort of cut costs and keep as much money in their own pocket. That helped a lot of businesses to do exactly that, and now it seems like outsourcing has pretty much become the standard. And don't get me wrong, I do think that there are some jobs that are going to be completely eliminated by AI as it continues to advance. But the reality is, while some jobs may be lost to AI, it is not going to eliminate all jobs. For one, I think AI is extremely advanced. AIs like ChatGPT can do a lot. There are a ton of generative platforms that allow you to create pieces of art, create pieces of ad copy, create entire blogs without you really having to do anything. But what you need to consider here is how well these things are actually created. Like when ChatGPT creates, say, an essay on a book, well, that essay really isn't that complicated. And for the most part, it's literally just pulling information online. That's going to help people do a lot more research on a particular book, and it's going to help people to learn things, but it can't really replace somebody actually doing that job. That would require AI that is a little bit more advanced than what we have today. And I firmly believe that AI is still leaps and bounds away from completely eliminating our workforce altogether. Our economy has changed a lot over the last 100 and even 200 years. And if you even look back just around 50 years ago, the jobs that many people were doing back then, well, a lot of people are not going to be able to survive off of those jobs today if they have those jobs at all. But every time we've had a big technological advancement, our economy and jobs market also goes through a transition. Technology was exploding in the 90s and 2000s, so what we needed was a highly educated workforce, which is part of the reason why college and university was so popular during this time. We needed a more educated workforce to get the jobs of tomorrow. But now we're over 20 years past that, and pretty much everybody has a college degree, so now you need to do something different. Times are changing again. AI is taking over, so now what is coming next for the American worker? Well, all throughout our country's history, we have gotten more specialized and more specialized. You can see this a lot in the doctor's field. We obviously have general doctors, but those general doctors are not the ones that are making the big bucks. It's all of the doctors who are super specialized in a niche field. The more specialized you are, the more training you have on one specific thing, that gives you a leg up on the entire competition because you are an expert, and there isn't as many people out there that have as much training as you on this one particular thing. Obviously, it's good to have skills in a lot of different areas, but in 2023, pretty much everybody has the same base skills as you. Everybody going to college right now knows how to run an Excel spreadsheet. Everybody knows how to run a Word document. Everybody knows how the internet works and how TikTok works. So what can you do to get a leg up on the competition? Well, you can be an expert in one particular thing. AI knows a lot, but it's still going to need somebody to ask the right questions, which is why we need really educated people and really experienced and talented people with lots of skills to go out and use AI effectively. And that's the point here, is that AI can make people's jobs a whole lot easier rather than replace them altogether. If you have somebody that is an expert in their field and then they master AI as well, well, now you have somebody who is basically irreplaceable. And that makes them valuable no matter what goes on in our economy, whether we have inflation, whether we have crashes, whether we have technologies like AI and automation wiping out our workforce. One thing is going to remain the same. If you have skills that are valuable, then you will always have a job in this economy because businesses will want to employ you. Valuable skills means that there is some type of demand for what you produce. That doesn't necessarily have to be a physical object. That can be anything. It can even be something with your own knowledge. Like I said before, AI is going to eliminate some jobs, but the amount of jobs that are going to be created after AI could completely eclipse that. We're going to need people to design these AI platforms. We're going to need people to kind of keep everything in check. Not to mention, AI doesn't have the critical thinking skills that we need to answer life's complex challenges yet. So we're still going to need highly educated people in order to do that. But if you want an even simpler answer on why AI is not going to completely wipe out our workforce, it's because people still need money. At the end of the day, businesses and Wall Street cannot survive if investors and consumers do not spend spend any money. And if nobody has a job, well, then they can't get a house, they can't get a car, they can't buy anything because they're unemployed. So we still need to have some jobs for some people so that way they can continue to stimulate the economy. Otherwise, our entire economic model is going to have to change pretty much overnight. Obviously, businesses want to continue to save money with AI, and they definitely should, but they cannot replace their entire workforce with AI, at least not yet. And it just doesn't make financial sense to, because now who is going to put money back into your business if you're not paying anybody with the profits from your company? Now, with all of that being said, what exactly can we expect in the future? Well, in order for our entire economy to be ready for this new technological advancement, we're going to have to invest a lot more in education, and we're starting to do that right now as education on YouTube and free education is getting a lot more readily available for pretty much everybody. You don't necessarily need to go to a school anymore to get all of the skills and knowledge you need to be an effective worker in this economy. You can learn a lot on YouTube by yourself. It's not going to be a complete substitute for a college education, but it might help you get the job that you need. But I think we need to go even further than that. I think there's going to be a lot more skills and knowledge that we're going to have to teach people, and a lot more experience people are going to need with AI in order for us to have a successful transition. Because like I said before, if we exclusively just go to AI, well, that's going to be bad for everyone. And what I think it's going to cause in the short term is a lot more borrowing, because now Americans are going to not have as many jobs, or they're not going to be paid as much because AI is doing a lot of the job, meaning they're going to go further into debt to get the things that they want. And debt bubbles have happened all throughout American history, and they almost always end poorly. So in order to avoid that, we're going to have to transition our education and our workforce appropriately, but that is going to take some time, and it's going to take a lot of money too. AI is definitely the future. We cannot deny that, and you cannot turn away from the technology in general, just like all of the other technological advancements in the past. It's going to help businesses and it's going to help consumers, and that is a really good thing. But at the end of the day, our country and the rest of the world needs to do this right. Let me know your thoughts on AI in the comments below. Do you think that AI is going to be beneficial for our economy and society, or do you think it's going to completely wipe out our economy and workforce? That is it for me, everybody. Be kind out there, and I'll see you all in the next one.